go, whoa, too.
Thank you for laying down last night.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And it was the ultimate Xander experience, so thank you.
Did the effect work?
A little bit. Yeah, I laughed so hard that my double chin still came out, but I appreciate the effort.
Well, there's a thing where she's like, I'm kind of, we should wear like my chin. I'm like, oh, there's a trick where you can lay down on the ground and they take a picture of you. Yeah, so I lay down on the floor on my table and took a picture. Then I impregnated her with my baby.
Nicholas?
Yes.
I enjoy all your varied roles, but I really like your role on Criminal Minds and your interaction.
Thank you.
And will there be more appearances, and will they really get the romance high?
Well, let's see, I've got an episode coming up either this week or next week where I ask her to marry me.
That's good.
And then I go back, then when I get back, I shoot 2 episodes back to back. So I don't know what's happening in those episodes yet. But I know that after the marriage thing, I split for a bit. So that maybe that gives away exactly what happened.
Maybe that's one of the quick.
Kevin Lynch was not happy, I can tell you that. He went soul searching. But so I go back next week to do 2 episodes. So yes, so I think they're gonna kind of keep kicking it up.
Well, you got terrific chemistry with her.
Yeah, she's wonderful. Thank you very much. Ah man, these men's are good. Sorted shirts, goddamn. Do that shit. Hi.
Hi. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was my favorite show ever, and I love the characters. So, will there ever be a movie?
Will there ever be a movie?
Or anything?
Or anything? I mean, I would love to bring Spike back. I love playing him.
That's quick.
Stranger things have happened. I think nothing has been talked about, but I think people want to see it really badly. So, and typically, it's if there's a want, then the studio and the people find a way to fill that want. I think I just raped you with my words.
Hey, Nicholas, Ranger.
Talk to me. Hey.
Hey, just 2 quick things. One thing, how'd you fall into that role for that movie, Psycho Beach?
They sent me the script, and I opened the package at my house, and I saw the cover, and it was, it was a girl doing a go-go dance, and it said Psycho Beach Party. And then I called my agent, and I'm like, I want to do this. I didn't even read it. I'm like, I just want to, I want to do it. And then so we got, the offer and stuff, and then I didn't read it until after they hired me. I just knew it. I didn't care how good or bad it was. I just loved the title, Psycho Beach Party.
I love think it was a lot of fun, so. And the other thing is that when you were doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I know there's that one episode of Halloween one where you were dressed up like an army guy, and you ended up becoming an army guy. By any chance, did you influence them to kind of go that type of character?
No, we could never influence Joss. There was never, because Tony Head, who played Giles, would have a lot of ideas, and would talk to Joss. And it was almost like, even if it was an amazing idea, Joss would pretty much do the opposite, So you can just learn the only thing that I did was, there was a part in Teacher's Pet, where I had done this riff in Joss's office about shawarmas. Because I just had one. I'm like, what is that? It's a big meat stick, So he used that in the Teacher's Pet thing, where I was kind of talking to my teacher in her living room. I'm like, come on, it's a giant, what's a shawarma? It's a giant meat stick, So, and then I got drugged, so.
Hey, I just want to ask, how fun was it that episode of Buffy when you were possessed by those hyenas?
That was awesome.
Tell me how fun was that just to be a bad guy for that whole episode?
Well, I mean, it's so common to be possessed by hyenas. You know what I mean? That's pretty much from age 12 to 17 guys were possessed by hyenas. It was great because it was the first, it was the first like Xander episode. And so as Nikki, I was like, oh, it was one thing to be in a show that, just to be working as an actor, and then all of a sudden, you have so you kind of, the firsts, you remember, and Hyena was my first. Which one was the second one? The Zeppo. Yeah. I mean, that was all Xander. And that was actually Sarah. I think Sarah was doing Saturday Night Live. And so Joss is like, hey, Sarah's going to be gone, we'll give you a heavy episode. I'm like, all right, sweet. But in turn, because even like Teacher's Pet was, heavy Xander. And she just needed my virgin sperm. So funny. I mean, with their outtakes and we had our, oh my God, how that made a cup. Stinking cup. I need these things out of time. Just leave on top of the toilet. Okay, whatever you say. Oh yes, anyway, so I'm tied up, and there's the giant praying mantis there, and in the outtakes, it's like, the director's, giving his direction, and I'm like, whoa, are you talking to me or the bug? It was just weird shit. But it was so normal. Yes?
Oh, Nick?
Purple shirt.
Once again, happy anniversary for 15 years of Buffy.
15 years.
My question is, were you ever asked to do a guest star on Angel, or like so many Buffy alums, done a guest star on How Much Your Mother?
No. Never on Angel, because Joss just, Xander and Angel just had nothing to give each other. It wasn't even like when he was there, it was like, that guy's a douche, So it's like, it wasn't that entertaining to where if I'd gone on Angel, it just would have been like two guys brooding at each other, What's this guy in here? What's this guy doing here? Well, Charisma, she has something to give, beauty. And then How Much Your Mother, no, I actually auditioned for the pilot. And, who else has been on Alexis, of course, because who? Oh, the mayor? Well, a lot of them, I think Allison told, because the creators of that show wanted to have somebody from Buffy on that show. And I had auditioned for the Jason Segel part. So they went with Allison on it. And I think Allie had told them that the only main person from Buffy that she would want on it was, I think, me or Tony. But it's just never worked out. Not that I wouldn't do it, but it's one of those things that, people don't want to say, hey, it's a Buffy, especially when you kind of got your own thing, so it's interesting. But I would do it, and I would love to, because I know Neil. Because when I was shooting Kitchen Confidential, which I did for Fox, the year that, the one person was up. We were all shooting on Fox, and it was the same year that How Much Your Mother was picked up. So Alan was shooting here, and then we were shooting right here, so we'd kind of go between. And then David had gotten Bones that year too, so we were all, and not on the show. But here I am. I gotta stop eating these mints.
For the musical episode of Buffy, was there anybody on the show who was just like, no, fuck that, I'm not doing it?
Allison was not happy about it. She wasn't happy about it. I was like, fuck yeah, let me have it, Because I wasn't hired as a singer or a dancer. So if I suck, it doesn't really matter, I got this audition on Monday for a show, and they want me to, and I gotta sing a song. No, it's for a pilot, and it's a really cool concept. But so, I've never gone in because I have my scene that I'll act, and then I have to sing 8 bars or something. I'm like, what the fuck is 8 bars? So I decided that I'm going to sing the rendition of "Putting on the Ritz" from Young Frankenstein. I'm gonna get my Chingwall just, you know, steps down and shit, and then at the end, it's just gonna, I'm gonna end it with, putting on the ring! And all that is, if you're beautiful, you don't know where to go to. Don't you know where fashion? See, I don't know, I need to figure it out. Putting on the rings! I'm gonna get this job.
I actually also had a question about the musical episode. Did you guys go through any like dance training to learn any of that steps? Was that ridiculous? Because I've done dance training before for music videos and it's annoying as balls.
I mean, it was cool because if I had to do it every episode, that would have sucked. But since it was one episode, and you know, we knew that it was going to be something special, because we would shoot, and then we'd have to go to dance rehearsal, you know? But actually, Adam Shankman, who is a pretty big director now, did like all of the dance numbers and stuff. So it was just a lot of fun, you know, to kind of be in this space and like learn these, you know, kind of come up with a little shake, you know. I had a blast doing it. I mean, I really, and I want to sing and dance some more, and I haven't had the opportunity since then. Maybe that's for a reason, though. See, I think I'm great at everything I do, you know.
You could dance and sing now.
The dance number I've forgotten. Well, I mean, there was just like a kind of like the thing about, you know, like that. Really lighten that shit up. You know? And then I remember the only thing that I was really concerned about was in the song in the library. I have a theory, and then mine is, yeah, it could be witches, some evil witches, which is ridiculous because witches are persecuted, wicked, good, and women power, and I'll be over here. Bum, bum, bum. The thing that sucked about it was that because I had to pop up real quick, and then I had to. So I kind of saw it as like Scooby, like literally Scooby-Doo. Not the Scooby Gang, but like kind of like in my head I pictured Scooby pops up. And then he goes down real slow, you know? And I got it on the first take, and I knew that if I didn't get it on the first take, we would have been there for hours. You know, so because you know, when you're frightened of something, your adrenaline's going on that first take. So I nailed it, and they're like, "Well, let's do them for safety," and I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna, absolutely not. Nuh-uh. We're moving on." So yeah, I'll sing later for you if you want to.
Do you have like, what was there a favorite episode that you had the most fun doing? Like one that you're like, oh my god, that was amazing. And also, can you do the Snoopy dance?
Yes, I will do the Snoopy dance. And I always do it at the end. And I'll do it over here, so if people want to take pictures of it and shit, they can take pictures. Or over here. We'll find a place for it. Hey, listen, I might do it twice. Which I've never done before. So I can't say for the last 10 years, every time I've done one of these, I've done the Scooby dance. What? Dry hump what? I hate it. It's not going to be that dry if I'm humping something. Syphilis, it's bad. No, I mean, all through, I don't know if you guys have been to LA recently, but like there are billboards all over LA and Hollywood. So huge billboards, I'm talking huge. Syphilis, it's back. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys, you know, I mean, seriously. This is what I gotta look at. It's back regardless if these fucking billboards are up or not, you know? There's gotta be a better way to get the word out. And they're just, you know, and like big pictures of condoms, and it's like, it's not a crime. I'm like, ah, really? It's not a crime to wear a condom?
I personally didn't like the ending for Xander and Anya. Did you want it to go any other way?
You mean how she died? Or the relationship?
Basically, how you guys didn't end up together, and then she died.
Yeah. Well, one of Joss's things was that he never wanted the main three people to be happy. like in a loving relationship at the end of the show. Because we toyed with, it was like 50-50, and it didn't obviously work out, but there was going to be a chance that Bucky and Xander were going to end up together. But then that's when he realized that he especially didn't want Bucky to be happy. And then it was something about like, and even Tony, to an extent, Giles with Miss Calendar, like he just didn't want his core people to be happy, like, or in love, you know, happy. That's just the way he works, you know? But yeah, I mean, it was tragic. Did I want a different? No. No, I think it, you know, I mean, unless we've gotten, I think it had kind of run its course. But there was a lot of good shit there, though. I mean, there's, you know, but it was also good to see her pissed. After, you know, because that's nice that I got the dates, you know. So, and again, I'm not gonna say Joss Whedon did anything wrong. That's just not the way it works in Whedonverse. The Whedonverse. Okay, is that what it's called? Okay.
After having lived in the Whedonverse, did you ever expect to get killed off sooner or at any point while making Buffy?
Never. No, I never expected to get killed off on the show. Apparently, Joss wanted to, but the writers talked him out of it. So he's like, I lost my eye instead. Because I guess, you know, Joss like, Xander's gone, and then they're like, yeah, I don't know if the fans are gonna really like that. Yeah, so then it's like all of a sudden I'm Nick Fury, yeah. And I'm, you know, in charge of a lot of women. Whatever. What's going on? Not just Dawn? But I'm not. The Slayers are gone, thank God. Buffy's pregnant? Well, it's the comic, it's out. So if you haven't read it, then you don't care, you know what I mean? So Buffy's pregnant with whose baby? It could have been, I'll bet you it was me. And I'm with Dawn, and the Slayers are gone. But who's protecting shit? The shit's on the DL? Been destroyed. And what the fuck is a comic book? He's going somewhere. I know Giles is dead. Angel's trying to bring Giles back? Huh. A vampire? Spike's taking Buffy to get an abortion. All right, well, this is good to know. I'm happy. What's happened? See, now, I mean, and if we make a movie, is it going to be on that, or is it going to be based, you know? Oh, okay, all right. This is just his fantasy right now. Okay, good.
What's up, Nicholas?
Hey.
I'm a huge fan of Starcat, and when I watched the film, it seems like you guys had such a good time. Did you have any input, or was there any improv allowed? You know,
no, because again, that was based off of a play, the movie I did called Psycho Beach Party. And and Charles Bush had written it. And Charles, lovely man, but it's very much like Joss. And it was written for stage initially. So, and it had a huge cult following when we made it into a movie. So it was, you can't improv that kind of dialogue. You know, it was so stylized. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a gay romp. Very gay. Not a lot of romp.
I was wondering if you would do the Snoopy dance with me.
With you? Well, then this is what we'll do. We'll have you do it on that side, and I'll do it on that side. Oh, there we go. No. Well, because then we save it for the end. I just don't know. If there was a spot in the middle, I would say absolutely, but I gotta do it. Okay, meet me on the second time over here.
All right.
Okay. No, and since she asked first, that's it. So when I'm over here, meet me there. All right, but I might be there first. So you gotta keep an eye on it. All right, you know, I'm not fucking out. I might start there, I might start over there, I'm not really sure. You took the no well, though. No. Roy. Like, wow. Raggy. Who's got the thing? The
I wonder if you would ever work with Joss again. If you did another movie and hired you, would you work with Joss Whedon again?
Would I work with Joss Whedon again?
Yeah, he seems to get a lot of repeat actors.
Yeah, well, I love Joss. Joss is the most fun I've ever had acting.
Okay, because I think you
With
should.
words.
Just saying.
Yeah, no, yeah, get the word out there.
I will.
No, Joss's stuff is really easy to memorize because it's awesome. Versus was a bit, now it really is. It's a lot easier to drink because it's like a very big straw. You know why I like McDonald's straws? Because they're huge. That's why I like enemas. What?
Me again.
Hey!
My favorite Xander episode was The Replacement. What was yours?
Oh, that was with Kelly.
Yes.
I mean, it's my twin. How do I say it was with Kelly? But probably in terms of Xander, the Zeppo, I had an awesome time doing. And then I loved playing Redfield in Buffy vs. Dracula. I had such a blast. And my the line that I recall most from that series was my favorite was in that episode. No. Oh, this will not please the master. I just love that line for some reason. When I read it, I'm like, oh, shit. But then people come up with lines that I had said, I'm like, oh man, that's good. That's some good stuff. So, but that was a lot of fun. There were so many, I don't know, it's so hard to say, you know? But I would say in terms of, when I read the Zeppo, I was at a Starbucks on Beverly Boulevard, and I remember when I was done, I was crying. And there's the only time I cried reading a script. But I was really happy that Xander was making growth.
Hi, I just want to say I love you. And I think you're so awesome and everything. Also, who is like your favorite love interest on Buffy when like Xander's love interest?
Well, I mean, love interest, I really only had two. Well, probably in terms of the kissing aspect of it, Faye. That was just raw, you know? Faye. I'll do that. At that time in my life, Faye. That's what I needed. I needed a little Faye. And she gave me a lot of faith.
I can tell you had an enormous amount of pleasure doing Buffy and all those genres.
Mm-hmm.
Did you seek out your role on Criminal Minds, or did they seek you out?
They sought me.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Good move.
He's the guy. He's very Xandery. Yeah, I mean, I just like how he talks, and yeah, I mean, because he's a nerd, you know. So I feel like I'm playing Xander in high school. Man, it's different out here. Oh my God, I wouldn't drink water like this in LA. God, it's good. There's something in it. Birth control for sure. You guys know that there's like the traces of birth control and Prozac and stuff, at least in the water in LA. It's true, they've tested it. It's disgusting. Which is why our pizza is so good. Makes you really happy.
Hi.
Hi.
I really liked Evil Xander. Were you upset that Xander never became evil, or did you like Xander the way he is?
I like Xander exactly the way it was. Evil's fine for like an episode or two, you know, but not always. It just gets kind of redundant and boring. I liked having the really kick-ass lines. You know, and if you talk to James about playing Spike, because the way James prepares is, you know, he's method. He gets, you know, he has to get, and that just seems like a depressing way to live, you know? And but some of my favorite scenes were when Spike was locked up in my basement. Because it was like the Odd Couple, you know? We were just like you know, these bickering little ninnies. So, no, I very much enjoy playing the funny guy.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just wondering if there were any like really good pranks on the set of Buffy.
You know, the first season, we were doing the pack, and we were doing the dodgeball scene when I started to kind of get all me and shit, and I started throwing the balls. I think at Willow and Buffy or whatever. And in that scene, we had a bunch of extras and stuff, and Sarah thought that it'd be a really good idea to talk to the camera, roll the camera, and then pants me. But I was out of underwear then. You know, I wasn't wearing any underwear. So and then it was like, you know, it was like 60 people. And it was on some film too. So that's probably the best one for me. But could you imagine if I had done that to Sarah? I would probably still be in jail right now. Like a man can't do that to a woman. You know what I mean? That's true, right? Am I right about that? I mean, I'll try it. But just know that if I do it to you guys, you cannot press charges. Okay.
Hey, right over here.
Where? Oh, hey. Hi.
Joking about how it's in your personality here, and you're just saying you like your fun role that you did of Xander. And I know you did besides just like a beach party, which was kind of like a quirky comedy, horror, whatever. But would you like to do another movie like that again?
Like a second beach party?
Not even that, but just a movie that's...
Like a quirky...
Yeah.
I love quirky. I love it. Like, I don't like going in for, when it says, like, on the breakdown, which is like the character description, of like, when it ever says, the super hot guy. I hate that. I hate that, because then I walk into a room and it's a bunch of super hot dudes. You know what I mean? And then there's me. And I'm like, you know, I mean, I'm not unattractive, but it's like, you know, like Hollywood super hot is not me. So when I see, like, you know, like nerdy, I'm all over it. I love playing the nerdy guy next door. I got a niche at it, you know?
You know, I've got to break in here because you prepare in this position.
Oh, is that what?
Yeah, I do that sometimes. And I got this off your IMDb. Name number 4 top 10 sexiest man on Buffy. So, what's it like being number 4?
I was number 4?
You were number 4?
Hold on. Who was ahead of me? And I mean, I'll go Boreanaz. Okay. And I'll go Marsters.
Right.
Probably right.
Flawed, the Lucas. Yeah, see, was it Mark? It doesn't say? I'm calling Jackie who does my stuff. She'll know. Hey Jackie, it's Nikki. I'm doing my Q&A right now. So, somebody just brought up that, and maybe you know who it is, but on IMDb it says that I'm number 4 of the hottest guys on Buffy. Do you know who the other 3 are? Yeah. Can you call back? Because I mean, I've got James and I got Boreanaz, but I mean, I can't think of anybody else that was on the show. I mean, Seth Green. I mean, yeah. Okay, she's gonna call back. All right, we'll look forward to this. Hold on. Someone. Oh. We got it. It's Allison's husband. Okay, there we go. All right. Well, thanks, Jackie. I'll play later. Please do. Bye. Wesley? Who voted? I'm pissed. This interview is over. Nice preparation, asshole. Hey, so I prepped here. You're ugly. Bradley Cooper's so much more attractive than you are. Okay, I'll take that.
Oh, hi again. Hi. Over here.
Say it again.
Over here.
Hi.
Hi. So, my question is, if any other character on Buffy besides Xander, who would you choose?
No, I wouldn't play Spike. It's boring. Not Angel, even more boring. Giles, less boring. But Giles had a lot of expedition. I mean, he had a lot of like those bridge dialogues. Oh gosh. The mayor became a snake. Became a giant snake. That really bummed me out. Larry, the gay pirate. Actually, this is one of my favorite scenes was when there's the Oz Werewolf episode and I go into the thing and I'm like, hey man, I know what you're doing at night. I love that.
Hello. Over here. Okay, so I noticed that you do a lot of wonderful cartoon voices, and I wanted to know if like growing up, if there's a specific cartoon that's like your favorite.
Cartoon that was, I mean, no, it was weird. I had a lot of anxiety as a child, and cartoons gave me a lot of anxiety for some reason. And I think it was only because I was on my way to school, and I hated school so much that these cartoons reminded me that I was on my way to school. I hated school. So no, cartoons never did, like, they always gave me, even when I watched them now, because there was always Scooby-Doo that was on. So then I would get like really high anxiety. And then Saturdays, it was like kind of watching the Captain Caveman and things like that. I think any animation just give me anxiety because of how much I hate at school, so I'd start playing baseball. I didn't have to watch cartoons. Because I didn't like baseball, I just didn't want to watch cartoons. Captain Caveman! You know, what is that Captain Caveman? You know what I mean? I'm not an idiot, you know what I mean? It's like, just because I'm young doesn't mean I want to watch a bad cartoon. and then when they started, getting into kazoo, on the Flintstones, it's like, come on, jump in the kazoo. It's a jump in the shark. And it's one person that laughs. Is this thing on?
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I was curious if there's someone you've yet to work with that you'd really like to work with.
I mean, so many.
Was there one that just really sticks out to you?
Well, here's the thing. I don't really know if I want to work with them because I like to work with a person. So I would need to know how they are as people, So I mean, my buddy Tony was just in the Iron Chef Lady with Meryl Streep. It's Iron Chef. The Iron Lady. And he was talking about working with Meryl, and I said, well, what was it like? And he's like, oh, it was like taking a master acting class. And I'm like, well, does she stay in character the whole time? She's like, no. She, does her stuff and then becomes one of the guys, and then when they say action, she kind of goes up to like a character. So I really need to know how the person is. Because there's not a particular, it's all about how they are as a person, not who they portray on the screen. So it's really hard to say. I mean, I would love to have done a couple of things with Jesus Christ, but he is a superstar.
Nick, over here. Nick.
Of course, actually, because I'm just going to always go here from now
Go
on.
me now on. Let's go to the best part. Do you ever wish you got to do some more serious ass kicking on Buffy? You led a lot. You led Displayer, Trance, and you led the Army in Graduation Day. Serious ass kicking, girls usually did it. Do you ever wish you got to do it?
No.
No?
No, again, I loved, because what made Xander was the fact that he ran. It's kind of like, with after 9/11, it's like the thing about firefighters is as people are running out of the building, they're running in. I'm running out. I'm always running out, and if I'm running in, it's with, it's with great hesitation. I mean, it was in episode 2 or 3, but one of my lines, which summed up Xander, was like, I laugh in the face of danger and I hide in other places. So that's kind of, that was in the first 1 or 2 or 3 episodes. And so I took that line, and that's who Xander was for the whole. Even when he was kicking ass, it was just, pretend. You know, what was that? Right. Oh yeah, I hated Angel. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there were certain instances, but for the most part, I laughed at its stage and then I hid it as well. Which I think is who we all are, innately. Which is why Xander and a lot of people understood it. Yeah.
Hey, there's two things I want to ask you. The first one is, how much fun did you have doing The Witch? Like the alternate world thing, where you and Willow were vampires.
The vampires?
And how does it feel to know that the master vampire was Otter from Animal House?
I love Mark. Mark's actually great. I liked playing it the one time. I got 2 amazing leather coats out of the deal. From Barney's. Still have them. I'm like, I'm taking this and this for backup. And, you know, I'm not a patient man, so I don't like to sit in makeup for too long. So, you know, 2 hours to put on that shit is way too long. And to be honest with you, I don't know how people do it. You know, I had a audition for Grimm last week, and it went really well, and you know, and it was like, I came very close to getting it, but one of my things as I'm going in was that there's one small part in where I'm morphed into what I really am. And I'm like, I don't want to sit in makeup for 8 hours. I mean, I'm thinking that in the audition. It's like, I don't want to do it because I just sitting in makeup for 8 hours. There's no way, you know? But again, I like doing it every now and then, you know? But so that was great, just to kind of be completely just off kilter of what was up there. I am good at being a bad guy. And I love playing bad guys, but not for 7 years. That's what I'm saying. That would be too much for me. Yes.
Taylor, couple things, actually 2 questions. One is, do you recall the very first episode of Buffy, you had this great friend.
Jesse.
Did it seem odd that he died? Then it's like, oh well. Your character didn't seem affected by it at all. But I'm also wondering, how much, before you started into Buffy, how much into the whole, you know, vampires, werewolves, were you into that stuff at all, or was this like, you know, something you were like,
I was aware of them. I knew that they existed, and I knew that they were taking a lot of lives. And I knew that I needed to stop them. I didn't have like a keen, you know, I wasn't overly into it, no. I would watch them on Halloween as a kid, you know, whatever, but it wasn't a big part of my life. I mean, I was a baseball player until I was 21, and then I quit, and then I started acting. So my life pretty much consisted of baseball from the age of 10 to 21, which is 11 years, but when you're 10 to 21, it's a long time. So all of my time went into that. I didn't see Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, I just didn't. No.
have you seen it since?
Bits and pieces. Guys, I don't like things that take place in outer space. I get claustrophobic. You know, it's like, what's the airline? What does it smell like on those ships? It's like, no. I start thinking about it way too much. I can't breathe. I like planet Earth. It's fine. We have enough stories. We have a lot of stories to tell on Earth. Except I was supposed to be Captain Tight Pants in Firefly. It was written for me. Joss actually went to my trailer and was like, hey, I'm writing a show. I'm like, sweet. And then a year later, he's like, I can't, we have to do it this year. So I would have gladly been on a ship, you know, acting, but I just can't watch it. I just get really off. I don't know. I'm crazy. You have another question or not? Thanks for bringing that out. I don't want to know the men, but I might have it. Oh. As good as they were in others.
Is there like a mood that you prefer on Buffy? Like I know a lot of fans, they really love the first half while you're in high school a lot more than the dark.
I love high school. Well, looking back on it, but I mean there was an episode where all the girls were in me. There was a part in that where people were talking about Xander. It's like, God, he's so lame, you know? And I Nikki was there because I was about to do a scene, so they had me come, and I was like hearing all the stuff, and I was starting to feel like, fuck, you know, because you can't not take it personally. Even though Xander, it's like, it really sucks. So there were times in high school where I felt like really insecure. Nikki did, because people were talking about a character that I was portraying. So I had to go through high school all over again, being really insecure. But I had a blast though. I had much better time in Buffy high school than I did in my real high school. You know, I got a do-over. With more sex. In my first one. Yes.
How did you come about getting the role of Xander?
I met with the head of casting for Wonder Brothers about 2 months before I went in for the pilot. There's a thing called pilot season, so I was just going in on a lot of pilots. I just started acting like 2 months before. And then I got the script. I actually got the script, Buffy, about in that meeting. I had the script for 2 months. And they were seeing people and testing people for it, and they didn't like anybody. And so finally they saw me, and I went in and I pre-read for the casting director. She said, great. She gave me a note on how to change the character up. And I'm like, okay. So in 3 hours later, I met Joss at the callback. And so I walk into the room, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And Gail Berman, who's one of our producers, she was on the phone. I'm like, hey, you know, tell that person they owe me $25, you know, bada bing, bada boom, you know. So then I do my stuff as I was instructed to do it. And so I'm doing it, and Joss is like, stop. He's like, that guy that came in here, do it like that. And I'm like, okay, you know? And I look at her, and I'm like, I told you I should have done it like that. So then I went and did it like that, and I got a phone call about 2 hours later that I was testing at Fox. I tested at Fox, tested at Warner Brothers. I was not the first choice, however, but at Warner Brothers I kicked ass. And got a phone call on Tuesday. And I started crying. I was really excited. You know, like I didn't know what to. It was just amazing, just a really amazing time. Like it's never gonna happen again. It's like I'll get a huge job again, but that first job, you know, I just knew that it was gonna be life changing. For, you know, and the good and bad, you know. I've become. It made me grow up. You know, I mean, I discovered something that I love. But you know, I've been arrested 4 times too since I've been an actor. You know? So it's like you grow up, you learn these lessons, and I just knew that it was a huge turning point in my life. And it was lovely.
Right here. Out of all the 7 seasons of Buffy, did you have a favorite big bad of the seasons?
Well, the big bad being more than one episode. No, neither one of those. You know, no. I mean, I wish that the guys in Hush could have been there longer. Those guys was freaky, you know. To be quite honest with you, I really, the master was kind of where it was at, you know. It was simple. It wasn't overthought, you know. But we needed to kind of come up with a new one. I mean, so there was the master, there was the mayor. I like the idea of the mayor. Like I like what happened there. I just didn't like the execution of the big stage and then Buffy writing it. And I remember when I was sitting in the house going, what is going on right now? You know? Is that little kid? What? Oh yeah. Because then we're mixing it up a little bit, right? But who was that little kid? Right, but yeah, Steve. I mean, I loved how we opened on him. Like I loved that whole. But then after that, I was done. Nothing personal. But it's really hard to come up with with a big bad, you know, that is in control. But I love the gentleman so much that it's just really hard to. When I think of a bad, I just go right there. Freaky, yeah.
Okay, I'm afraid we're on to our last question.
Well, are you gonna tell me I'm ugly again?
Yes, you are. You are. Look at me.
My last question. If you could write, direct, and star in your own film, what would it be based around or about? would be like one of those movies where it's like hack and slash, would be a really intuitive storyline and plot line? What kind of movie would it be? If you
Well, I
could
just
do that?
actually my writing partner and I just wrote a short that it's called The Book of the Wall, and I mean, it's hard to say because I write a lot of stuff, you know. But this one, it's about Jesus, and it's about how Jesus's miracles adversely affected Walt, every single one. And then Jesus steals his girlfriend. So I mean, Walt's pissed. Walt's really pissed. So that's something that I don't know if I'm going to direct it because directing is a different animal. But I will shadow the director who is directing it, just so that I can kind of, learn stuff, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's what I'm going to do. Since I just wrote that, and the first draft's out, you'll probably see that soonest from what I've written and start. So that's the answer I got for you. Let's do some Snoopy.
Video.
He may be number 4, but number 1